So a lot of people are wondering how exactly you get the OC models that are available to bind. So starting from a complete fresh run of our startup file Blender, we're just going to go straight into that. So I'm just going to enable the screencast keys just to show off what I'm doing. So first things first, I'm going to delete everything on screen. Next thing is to, of course, import your FBXs. So those would be stored, those are on my external drive in my models folder. This isn't forever. This is more where, whatchamacallit, where you put your models, but mine are here. So we're just going to go to woman body or body.wom. So first things first is what we're going to do is we're going to scale this up. I'm going to scale this to about 5 times just for visibility's sake. Gonna just leave it on the ground because all the models spawn this way. There's probably a modification you can do, but from the time being, I'm just gonna hide this bone, and as you can see, we have the body model now. Every bit works. Most of the there aren't any doubles really here, so the model looks mostly fine. So what seems to be throwing most people is the process of binding them together. So we're gonna go with a wolf head next. So gonna scale this up 5 times as well. Now you don't have to scale them, I'm just scaling them so it's easier to see. So we have the model here, so on and so forth. So I'm just gonna import everything, so I might speed this bit up. Okay, so here we are, we have our model, everything has been put together, and at least we have a semi-solid model. So first things first is we're going to choose our main skeleton. Basically, if I expand here, a bit of reference, so these stick figures you see here, these represent armatures, so this represents the bones, whereas this triangles here would represent the models, or the meshes. So if I select here, it moves, oh, silly me. If I select the stick figure, it moves everything because it's moving the armature, which is linked to. So what we're gonna do now is first thing we're just gonna hide this just because these are annoying. Oh dear. You don't have to do this. I just do this for just because I like these hidden. Okay, now that we've got all these hidden, we can see most of the main body. So if you'll notice, these armatures are all separate, so that means they're not connected. So first things first is we're gonna link all the models together because these models are all separate. You can see they're in different you can see they're under different armatures. They're all separate. So for instance, if I were to pose, let's say you can pose the hips, and that moves everything along here. Or if I pose the spine, you see it isn't moving anything up here, so it's not moving these. So we're going to make that work. So first things first, we're going to choose the main mesh that we're going to we're going to choose the main armature that we're going to put the mesh under. So I'm going to choose the one body here. So we just grab this mesh and drop to set parent, armature deform, scale it up because the scale will be lost because reasons. And then we rinse and repeat with the other model. So drag it up, drop to set parent, armature deform, scale it up. Drag it up, drop to set parent, armature deform, scale it up. Drag it down, drop to set parent, armature deform, scale it up. Now, if you're following me, the scaling isn't really necessary. It's just because I'm making the model bigger just to make it easier to show what I'm doing. So every mesh is now under this one armature. So now we have to bring the armatures together, because these armatures are here, but as you can see, if I were to move them in object mode, they no longer affect their mesh because the mesh isn't parented to them. So I'm just going to select this one, then select it, then Control J. That merges them. So now if you are to move, let's say, the head here, it moves the head now. It moves as part of the mesh, even though it wouldn't have done that earlier. And if I move the spine, well, it's not moving that because it's not connected. So we need to fix that because part of the mesh isn't connected. So first things first, to make things easier for us, we're going to set X-ray, which basically means that all the armature here can be seen through the head. So this is the head bone. So if we're going to go into edit mode, first things first, we're going to hide this because that's annoying. Next, we're going to shrink this down just so it's easier to see. And then now we've shrunk it down, we're going to give it a parent and set it to be parented to neck. And now that it's parented to neck, what should happen is when we move this, you can see the head moves with the spine now, completely as done before. So there's a handful of connector bones, for instance, that have to be made sure that they're linked. Sometimes when you join the meshes, they'll automatically link. Other times, as I've just shown, you'll have to parent them. So let's get back to work and parent the rest of them. So we're going to parent the mouth bones now. So Control J and pose mode. Let's see now. Is everything moved? No, this isn't moved. So some bones don't have functions. These are like designed for hair bones. So in many cases the hair won't actually exist because it's meant for custom parts, which any custom parts that you put on this model are joined in the exact same way as I did before. The bones will also be joined in the way that I'm demonstrating now. So you select the bones of the model of the armature without the mesh, then you click the main mesh, and then you press Control J. Next, you make sure that they're linked. So you can see the knee bone works, the calf works. So now we're going to just join the rest of them when this decides to work. So Control J, Control J, Control J. So you can see all the meshes are now see-through. Having X-ray on also makes it easy to tell when the meshes have joined. So these will become see-through. So first things first is to check what bones made the transition. So make sure the head bone is working, but we've still got some that aren't moving, so we're gonna have to check. See if that's moving. You can see the feet are moving now, so if we rotate here, you can see here the bones have been replicated, but they haven't merged. So there's a replicated bone knee here. We're just gonna hide these. So you can tell what the bone name is by seeing here. So you can see if it's 001, if it's 001 at the end of it, that means it's a duplicate. So we can just delete those. We can just delete all those. So now foot has to be parented to calf. So this is foot R, so we're going to parent it to calf R. And then we're going to do the exact same for foot L, except it's going to be calf L. So now, when we rotate the calf here, it moves the shoe along with it. And the shoe does its own thing without it. So That's linked. So now let's make sure that this arm is linked and moving, or if it's been duplicated. I can see here it's been duplicated. So we're gonna have to fix that. So we're gonna delete the duplicates, which have 0, 0, 1 at the end of them. And now we're going to link hand underscore R to forearm underscore R. And we're going to link hand underscore L to forearm underscore L. As you can see here, what I did there was I accidentally hit all the bones instead of just the ones I didn't want to see. So I'm just going to hide all of them, the bones that are called mesh. These bones are just annoying because they take up a huge amount of space and you just can't see when they're in the way. So now you can see we've joined all these, so all the limbs are working nice and well. But the thing you probably remember is that the mouth wasn't moving at all. So the mouth isn't connected properly or has a duplicate. So seeing that there's a right old mess of bones. There's about 142 bones in this entire mesh. There's way too many bones for us to try and pick through and see which one's a duplicate. So we can go into the pose structure, which is the bone structure, and look through and try and find which bones we don't want, or in other words, which bones are the duplicates. So as you can see, this head here isn't good because this should be merged with our other head, so we can just go ahead and delete this bone. Actually, no. Let me just check what's linked to this bone. So before you do that, make sure what it's linked to. So this is linked to a bone called root mouth. So we don't have to worry. So we know we have to connect root mouth to head. So we can just delete this and then choose root mouth and then parent this to head. So now that's linked. We go to head number 2, find out what this is linked to. So it's linked to head top 1 and eyelid bones. So we'll parent these to head first. So head. We'll parent this to head. And now we can delete head number 2, and I believe that we're done. So we'll go into pose mode, and if we move the spine bone, you can see everything moves with it. So that means that everything here is affected by bones. So if we were to go into object mode and hide, you can see we have our full custom character put together with the parts before. And, well, it works. All the bones are working. If we unhide them. There's a lot of them, and it's a real mess to work around. You can see that the nose bone isn't working, but most of the other bones are. That was probably a bad example to go with, but I can see there's another nose bone here. This one should probably be linked to here, but who knows, actually. Excuse me. So that was how you join all the bones together. Thank you for watching, and have fun with all your custom character endeavors. Peace.